The Utah Jazz season is back. They get a nice win against the New Zealand Breakers. Obviously a team that the Utah Jazz should beat, but they definitely go in. They showed some really great signs. It's the first post-game show of the season, so we're a little rusty. Let's just get right into this. Let's see. Yeah, I am so rusty. All right, we're back, baby. Here we go. All right, so the Utah Jazz play the New Zealand Breakers, who are not an NBA team and not filled with NBA talent. And to be honest, they were close and even behind at times up and through like the second quarter. So a few times where if you're a Jazz fan, where you're a little like, probably not the greatest thing, but they calmed down, they figured it out, and they won the game. To start the game, we really saw who the two best offensive players on the Jazz are, and that's Lauri Markkanen and Keyonte George. Lauri Markkanen in just 15 minutes was 5 for 7 from the field, 1 for 2 from 3, 13 points, 3 rebounds, plus 12. He was great. He was everything you expect from Lauri Markkanen. It looked really good. Not much else to say because it's just 15 minutes and it's against the Breakers, but it is fun to just have Jazz basketball back. So that was great to see. Let's see. We're going to just go down the line like we always do. Taylor Hendricks had some nice moments tonight. He was just 2 for 5 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. He did have 2 steals, an assist. That assist was nice, and his passing showed up in a nice way. I was impressed with his passing. Just kind of looked a little more comfortable out there. Obviously, it's against the Breakers, so it'll be much more interesting to see how he looks in their next preseason game and as the season goes along. But Hendricks looked pretty good and looked like he was a little more comfortable. And you could tell that he's a little stronger and has some time under his, some experience under his belt, however you want to say that. But he just looked comfortable and he just looked nice and he made some plays and he played good defense and it was nice to watch. It was fun to see. Guys, Jazz basketball is back and the players that played looked pretty good. Yeah, like I said, this is a grain of salt game because it's the Breakers. We'll see what they do next game. But so far you saw some things that you wanted to see and it was nice, I guess having said that, Walker Kessler played 25 minutes tonight. He's obviously getting the nod as getting that advantage. He's going to get those first team minutes over John Collins because Utah would like to see him develop, and we've seen what he can do, especially that rookie season. But tonight he had some moments. He had some contests, 9 rebounds, 8 points in 25 minutes. A little disappointing in some ways. You'd like to see him be a little more impactful, although I guess sometimes I'm like, what do I expect? Walker Kessler may be what he is, and that may be like an Ivica Zubats or whatever. That to me is kind of the comp for him. I mean, he's probably a better rim protector than Zubats, but Zubats is going to be probably a better offensive player and can do a little bit more offensively, a little more comfortable. That's kind of the type of player I think Walker Kessler should watch. But if like Walker Kessler is more mobile and can score kind of like Zubats does and then do the things he does defensively, then it's great. Now, he's not super quick-footed, whatever you want to say, on the perimeter. They were getting some threes off, and part of that is because he's just not as quick getting out to the perimeter. It's why I have some predictions with Taylor Hendricks. Instead, I did a video. In fact, let's just talk about it. My last video I did was about Taylor Hendricks. No, last one was about Keyonte. The one before was Taylor Hendricks. By the way, like and subscribe to the channel. We're doing Jazz videos almost every day. So if you're a Jazz fan and you're not subscribed and liking this channel, what are you doing? What are you doing? Anyways, I think Taylor Hendricks might be potentially the starting center for the Jazz down the road if he can get enough size and strength. He's 6'9", 6'10". He put on like 20, 21 pounds according to what the Jazz said. I take that for a grain of salt because we always have muscle watch every season. Everyone gains 20 pounds of muscle. Everyone loses 20 pounds of fat. And that's what everyone does. And so sometimes you're like, what's real? But he did look stronger. And if Taylor Hendricks at 6'9", who moves like he does, he guarded 1 through 5. Impressive stuff. That was really impressive stuff. You put him at the center spot, he becomes pretty darn lethal. And one other thing that Taylor Hendricks did that I was pretty impressed with, he had one play where he kind of handled the ball in the post. He looked comfortable doing it. And you know, his reads were a little bit better. He just looks a little better to me, which is nice. That's what you want to see. And so if he can handle the ball a little bit, can shoot the three, can defend the rim, switch 1 through 5, and if he's playing at center and he's good enough and can hold up at the center spot, that's pretty special stuff. And that's something to get really, pretty excited about if you're a Taylor Hendricks fan. Let me just make sure that this chat is let's see. Should we pop this out? No, I think we're good. Anyways, just making sure that everything's working. Because sometimes when I pop the chat out, I'll see. Okay, good. All right. So Walker Kessler might be a Vika Zubac. That might be a comp for him. I kind of look at him in that way, at least right now. Who says he can't be better? But it wasn't like he was crushing the New Zealand Breakers, right? We had Keyonte George, we had Colin Sexton, we had Lauri Markkanen, even Cody Williams and Johnny Juzang were having moments tonight and just kind of having moments where it wasn't particularly competitive. It didn't look super dominant from Kessler. That's just my impression. And one of the things that we always hear about with Walker Kessler, especially with lots of people who really defend him, is the rim protection numbers, and they are good. And hopefully they're good enough that they trick someone into making a trade, right? But if he's got all this rim protection numbers, they're so incredible, best in the league, why are the Jazz sitting at bottom 5 in the defense? That was the question for me last year. At some point, those individual advanced numbers need to also translate to the team advanced numbers in some way, right? Like Nikola Jokic, his advanced numbers are off the charts and they translate to the team advanced numbers, the on-offs, the wins and losses, right? You can't argue it. Jokic is incredible. There are like theories I have that Walker Kessler is a good rim protector, but I don't know if he's a good rebounder, and I don't know if he's a good second shot contester, right? Like, I think he contests that first shot well, and that's why I think those numbers show up. But when I watch, I'm like, what about the secondary? And is that everyone else's responsibility? Maybe. But one of the things that made Rudy Gobert so special was that second jump, that second effort, where he would defend the first shot, and then the second shot he would defend just as well and just as quickly and move his feet so well. And I don't see that same movement. It's why Rudy Gobert is so special. And that if you don't watch Rudy Gobert on a nightly basis or didn't watch his whole career, then you probably don't know why Rudy Gobert is so great. And it's why when you watch Walker Kessler, you're feeling some empty calories there, right? Rudy Gobert is that filet mignon steak. It's pan fried to perfection with that perfect crisp, the butter, sauce, and things like that they're whipping up on top of it. You know what I'm saying? And you get that steak, and it's just like that perfect medium, and it's just sizzling as it comes on your plate, and you bite into it, and it's like it melts in your mouth, and it just tastes incredible. We're getting a little well done with Walker Kessler on some of this. Little char. Little gray all the way through, right? A little like someone cooked that steak that didn't know what they were doing. So we need that steak to get a little bit more well prepared. I guess that's the analogy we're going with. Colin Sexton was a little, he had a nice night. Plus 16, he had 8 points, 3 assists, 4 rebounds. The defense is not very good. I want to see a little more impact with that. He was a little invisible tonight, but he's efficient. That's the thing, is you can't argue. He is efficient. He was 3 for 7 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3. He is the best. Well, Johnny Juzang has something to say, but overall, Colin Sexton is probably the best three-point shooter on the Jazz, and that includes Lauri Markkanen when you consider that Colin Sexton also takes the pull-up threes that Lauri Markkanen does not take, and he knocks down the catch-and-shoot threes really well, too, and in fact, probably at a better rate. So, underrated three-point shooter Colin Sexton, and you see that tonight, 50% from 3. That's incredible. But Colin Sexton also takes the pull-up threes that Lauri Markkanen doesn't. So nice to see that. But, the defense has to be a little better. It's just, and it's going to be why the Jazz lose a lot of games this year, is just because defensively there's some deficiencies there that are just kind of insurmountable. But while Colin Sexton's on the team, he is one of the best players on the team. He is going to get the minutes. He is going to put up good numbers. It's what he does. And he may find himself auditioning and playing for a contender this year. Like, there's some teams out there that are going to see what he's doing and say, we would not mind a 40% three-point shooter that can go out and score in bunches. And in 18 minutes, if you're a contender and you see this stuff, plus 16, 50% from three, 42% from the field, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal, there's contenders out there that are going to be like, I want a piece of that. I want some of that steak, right? So nice stuff from Colin Sexton. He's going to be he might have a career year, to be honest. He knows his place. He plays well. He fits within the Jazz scheme, understands the scheme. He's really evolved with this Jazz team, so he's fun to watch. It's fun to see that evolution of him as a player. And so just, I don't know if he helps you. If he's your starting shooting guard, I don't know if you're going to win a lot of games. In fact, we know that. You're not going to win a ton of games that way. At least be a contender. But he can be an off-the-bench, high-level scorer. We've seen that in the past with this Jazz team. Sexton has been so nice off the bench, and when he's scoring with this efficiency, it's pretty impressive. All right, Keyonte George looked like the second best offensive player on the team, next to Markkanen, who was just solid and awesome tonight. Keyonte George was great, and this is what you want to see against the New Zealand Breakers. When you see Walker Kessler kind of have a few moments but struggle 0 for 4 from the free throw line, you watch Keyonte George, who 4 for 6 from the field, and that was running the offense, 2 for 4 from 3, 5 assists, 12 points, and only 2 turnovers, so a 5-to-2 assist-to-turnover ratio. That is nice. That is the good stuff. This is really great to see. It's what you want to see. And the big thing for him is finding that balance, finding that consistency, being both point guard and scorer. And I felt like he played pretty solid defense. He was working hard to stay in front of his man. I was watching it pretty close. He was kind of maneuvering screens pretty well. And if he plays good, if he's just an average to good defender, then that is a massive win for this Jazz team as he continues to develop. He's just such a young player with so much skill. He's only 20 years old. He's not even 21. And then you consider that, let's see. Why are they going to playoffs? He's only got he's a second-year player, and he's already showing so many different signs that, this Jazz team is what the Jazz are trying to do, big picture. But guess what? They have players on this team that absolutely can fit in with that player if they get him and become a contender really fast. Keyonte George is the perfect type of player to play off of a superstar like that. He can shoot the ball. He can handle. Tonight he showed he could run a pick and roll really well. Just like with all these other guys, I want to see it against better competition, but you know what? What you want to see against a team like the New Zealand Breakers is you want to see Keyonte George just shine, and he did. Same thing with Lauri Markkanen. You don't want it to look hard, and it looked easy for both of them. That's great. Great sign. Taylor Hendricks had a little bit of that. Nice to see. Taylor Hendricks is definitely an off-ball player right now, and that's okay. If he's knocking down threes and playing defense, that makes him really interesting. I want to see, I tell you what, one of the things this game made me excited about and want to watch and see and so on and etc. is I want to just see some Taylor Hendricks at center minutes. That's something I'm watching. And as Jazz fans, we should all watch because you want to see these players develop. Cody Williams played 28 minutes tonight. He was the first off the bench along with John Collins. This was kind of that's a great sign for Jazz fans that Cody Williams comes off the bench. Now, we know that there was a vacuum there. The Jazz traded away Fontecchio. Car Wash Channel, welcome back. Dirty Jazz Car Wash Channel is back to All-Star. We know that the Jazz traded away their wings. They had no wings last year, and so they traded Fontecchio away, if you don't remember. They traded away Kelly Olynyk. There was a hole there. Cody Williams fills that gap. He is a pure small forward, something the Jazz have not really had in ages, I guess since Fontecchio. And Fontecchio was the best they've had in a while, including the Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert years. I guess you could argue Bojan Bogdanovic was a small forward, but he was more of a power forward, really. He could not really keep up with other wings on defense. So now you have Cody Williams, who definitely can. And what's impressive about him is that he just makes the right play. Yeah, the three-point shot wasn't falling tonight. He shot over 40% from three in college, and I have no doubt that will eventually start falling. But he made everything else. 3 for 7 from the field. So minus the 3 misses from 3, he was 75% from 2. He goes 4 rebounds, 3 assists, only 1 turnover, and 6 points. But what makes me really excited is he just makes the right play. He has so much maturity as a player. He is absolutely going to just be someone that Will Hardy loves to coach because he just makes the right play. He is not worried about getting his, even though there's times where I'm like, get yours, Cody. Like that dunk he had, holy smokes, was that awesome. But the best part of that dunk for Cody Williams wasn't even, in fact, let's just see if it's up. Shall we refresh and see if they've got replays? If not, oh, they do. Yes, sir. They've got 3. What I want to see is the dunk. It's not even the dunk, which is really nice to see. Well, do they not have it playing? Huh. Looks like they're not working. Anyways, go watch the replay. Go watch the dunk. What made me excited is not even necessarily the athleticism, the drive. He's shown that he has a handle. He can even run a little pick and roll. He had a nice little step back mid-range jump shot that, they look easy, but when a player makes things look easy, that is a great sign. That is a great sign when a player makes something look easy like Cody Williams did. Fantastic. But now I'm going to get to my point. I'm actually going to get to it. Don't worry. We'll talk about it. What I loved about it was that he didn't travel when he drove. Remember when last year with Taylor Hendricks, when he started getting minutes when the Jazz said we are going to play Taylor Hendricks? Man, we are rusty tonight. The mouth is not working. The mouth is not working. Anyways. It was like 2 or 3 travels in a row for Taylor Hendricks when he started last year getting minutes. Off the bat, Cody Williams has footwork like a veteran. It's a small thing, but it's not a small thing. It's a big thing. If he's already got footwork down with his drives and goes to and dunks it, and Will Hardy knows that when the ball goes to Cody Williams, he's not going to turn it over. He's not going to make a dumb play, because those are the things that you get really excited about as a coach. You watch these players, you go into practice, you say, these are our systems. These are what I want you to do. When you get the ball here, you do this. If you're here, you run this, blah, blah, blah. And it looks like Cody Williams is one of those players that does that. It's a coach's dream. And so he's also not turning the ball over. One of the big things that gets you so frustrated, well, not frustrated, it's just what rookies do, is they turn the ball over. Keyonte George, when they gave him the reins last year, it was a struggle. The turnovers went way up, and it's just hard. So to see him not turn the ball over, have a 3, what is that? And maybe that's 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. Really nice. Yes, grain of salt. It's the Breakers. They're not good. But these are just great signs. You want to see these players kind of shine. And when you see players not really shine against a team of inferior talent, it's kind of rough, So kind of tough with Walker Kessler. But, man, players that really shine tonight, Cody Williams, Keyonte George, Colin Sexton looked fine out there. Lauri Markkanen and Taylor Hendricks had some nice moments. Nice to see. Jordan Clarkson is Jordan Clarkson, and he did everything that Jordan Clarkson does. He went out, he shot the ball, he had that really nice alley-oop. He has improved as a passer, so that's nice to see. Jordan Clarkson is going to have the best year ever because he's going to be like a mentor. He's going to help young players develop. He gets to just, go out and get buckets and play basketball and get the green light, and he's probably going to play 10 to 15 minutes a night, and that's fine. That is fine. 11 minutes tonight. I'm sure this goes to like 15 to 20 during the season, but that's great. The Jazz are not worried about winning this year. What they're worried about is developing their young players. So when they have their superstar come over, most likely in the draft, and all of you better be just crossing your fingers, crossing your toes to get Cooper Flagg or Ace Bailey, one or the other. Once that player comes on, then you have these players developed, ready to go when he's here. And by the way, Cooper Flagg is going to be so dang good. Bryce Sensabaugh had some moments. They were playing him at point for a good amount of like the fourth quarter. He does some nice things. 12 points, 3 steals. I didn't realize he had 3. He had, let's see, can't see here, 2 assists. Pretty nice night for Bryce Sensabaugh. I don't know if he's someone that's just kind of blows the doors off when you're watching him, but he has some nice moments. He does some nice things. He's got good size. He can score the ball. He's someone that I think will be on the Jazz for a while, and he's just someone that can be a nice bench player for them down the road. Now, can he develop some and become something more? Definitely. We haven't seen too much, and it's just the beginning of the season. It's only his second year. It's one game against the Breakers, so we're going to see more. But I liked what I saw from Sensabaugh. We know he can score. We know he can handle. He did turn over the ball a lot last year, so that's something to watch as well. Can he hold on to that ball? Maybe is that handle a little bit better? I think I like Sensabaugh a lot. I like him as kind of a future sixth man type player, and he'd be really nice in that role. Come in and play some guard. Isaiah Collier just knows how to handle the point guard. He had 6 assists tonight. He's just a pure point guard, and it's really nice. He also had 5 turnovers, so he's got to work on that. But Collier coming off the bench, I hope he gets a lot of minutes as a backup point guard for Utah, him and Sensabaugh, because I just want to see what he can become. He's got just that natural point guard ability, and it's fun. The jump shot, he only took 3 shots. He missed 2. He is absolutely just a bulldog. You can just tell when he drives to the basket, and he is just strong. And so he's fun to watch. I'm excited to watch Collier. I think he has a chance to be a nice point guard in the NBA. I don't know if he's going to be a starter, but he could be a nice backup point guard along the lines of like a Tyus Jones or someone like that. If the Jazz get like, if Isaiah Collier turns into like Tyus Jones, that's such a huge win for Utah, And I think he absolutely can do that, and I think he can be a 10-year NBA player for sure. So he's just going to be fun to watch. It's all up to him. Can he develop? Filipowski only played 12 minutes tonight. He had some moments. He's just someone who's obviously got to develop a little bit, but you can see the makings of something nice. He kind of reminds me of, what's his name? He's on the Bulls. He used to be on the Magic. I can't remember his name. But the center on the Bulls that it can handle and shoot. Why can't I remember his name? If you remember, let me know in the comments. But anyways, he's a guy that can handle the ball. He can face up. He can shoot the 3. He showed tonight. He can handle it. He can pass. He can drive. He can do a little of everything. And I think his natural position is going to be at the center. And so that's going to be where I like to watch him. Drew Eubanks also played. He brings like a nice veteran presence and some stability. And it's great. The other guy that just kind of stole the show tonight and honestly was literally the best offensive player, scored 19 points, plus 15 is Johnny Juzang. He shot 5 for 6 from 3. His 3-point shot has just gotten better and better and better. In fact, let's pull up Johnny Juzang. He was 5 for 6 from 3 tonight. He got more minutes last year. Let's see, regular season. So he shoots 41%. Let's see, 23% in 22-23. He's worked on it. He shot 41% from 3 last year. What if he shoots it like 45 to 50% from 3? He probably earns himself some minutes. When you're shooting that kind of fire out of your hands, it's why he got the contract he did. One of the quieter moves of the offseason this year, but Johnny Juzang getting that extra money and getting that contract was a smart thing because look at this, 5 for 6 from 3. That is flames coming out of your hands. Pretty impressive stuff. So nice to see Johnny Juzang do that. 19 points, 2 assists, nothing else. All I do is make 3-point shots, and that's okay. Holy smokes, is he a weapon? If he can just consistently shoot like that, That's going to be fun to watch. Something to, the Jazz might have found their little diamond in the rough in Johnny Juzang. They've really worked on developing him. Someone like Johnny Juzang who kind of figures it out and can just shoot the lights out. That is so valuable. And these are the types of guys that get on contenders because, you can always use shooting. And if you have a guy that that when he is just going to be a open three-point shot, he's knocked down, that is the type of guy you want on your team. Fun to watch. Guys, I think that's everything. Oh, by the way, it's just fun to have Patty Mills on the team. You can tell he's just kind of like an assistant coach. And that's fantastic. I'm happy that he's on the team, can provide veteran leadership. That's what this team needs as they develop their young guys. It's a young team. It's a young, fun team, guys. That was fun to watch tonight. So next game, we'll see. In fact, when is the next game? October 5th. Let's see. Let's just bring this up. So tonight we had the Jazz win. They're obviously not. Let's see. What is today? Oh, today's Saturday the 5th. So they're not. Do they play Monday? Yep, against Houston. That's going to be a fun one to watch against the Houston Rockets. How well they do against them, because that's also a young, very talented team. That's going to be a blast. All right, guys, let's give a shout out. Oh, by the way, guess what time it is? It's Tankathon time, because Utah is getting a top 5 pick this year. In fact, man, I'm all rusty. I am just absolutely behind. Why didn't I? Let's see. There we go. Okay, guys, how does that sound? Is it too loud? Not loud enough? Let me know in the comments. Feels like that's a little loud. Sounds good? Okay. I just don't want it to be too loud. All right, guys. The Utah Jazz find themselves in 4th. If the lottery was today, starting now, Utah Jazz going for Cooper Flagg. The whole hopes and dreams of the Jazz right now. What happens? Oh, Jazz get drumped. 3 spots. Fall to 7. That's why you got to be as high as you can. So if you drop 3, you at least stay at 4, right? San Antonio jumps to 4. Are you serial? Houston jumps to number 1, gets Cooper Flagg. No way. That hurts. This actually hurt my soul. That means Cooper Flagg goes 1. Utah would get Kamen Malawach, who is really nice. But man, would you really like to be here? You really, really want to be here. BJ Edgecombe even. BJ Edgecombe, and I'm happy. It's a rough go, guys. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. We got to refresh it because we got Dirty Jazz Car Wash channel back. By the way, guys, if you'd like to support the channel, I truly appreciate it. With the Jazz season coming back, we're doing our post-game shows every game, not just the produced stuff anymore. All right, we got See Ya Alexa Later back as well. All right, let's give a shout out to our All-Stars. Dirty Jazz Car Wash channel, See Ya Alexa Later, Ryan Perry, the legend, Baby Elliott Matson, Christian House Money to Haas, Jesse, the outlaw Jesse James Nelson, Built Ford Tough, Alexander Tufts, Jordan the Goat Best Roll, Austin R. Grant, Editor Extraordinaire, KG10 to TH5, Patrick Akubo, the Connoisseur. Guys, we are back, and I'm glad you're back with me. This is going to be a fun season. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. I marked this as having an advertisement. I didn't even advertise. So go to Prize Picks, use promo code HoopsNerd, and they have a promo going on. I forgot what it is. I guess we got to start doing that again. I might try to get some different sponsors. We'll see. I would love to do DraftKings, but we can't do it in Utah just yet. But anyways, guys, like and subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you next time.